Dan Matheny here. How's everybody doing? Anyway, today I'm going to talk about Niri, which is a tiling window compositor for Wayland. And it's an awesome thing. I'll just bring up a bunch of terminals and you can switch them around, and you can switch windows with the super key. I'm holding down the super key and the arrow key right now, and it was the squiggly and the super key for that. Anyway, and super O. I'm just going over the defaults here. You could switch windows. And anyway, the wallpaper is Fluffy the cat. But anyway, I'll just switch back to the original workspace here. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get to it. We'll switch to this window since the camera's right there. Yeah, there we go. That's the focus. That's where I want the focus to be right now, because my picture's over here, so I don't want to right in front of the picture. So anyway, I'm going to vim.config/niri/config.kdl. And for some reason that comes up. Anyway, here's my defaults, and it's basically, it's not hard once you get the swing of it. I have a touchpad, but I just have it turned off. I'm using my ThinkPad. And the computer's name is Angie, Dan at Angie, and the reason why it's named that is because this laptop came out in 2022, and we got married in 2022. So that's just a little bit of that. But anyway, back to the reason why I just left this default. I just left the default because everything just works fine for me in that regard. And with the I don't have multiple displays, but I did have to modify the mode because a lot of defaults are still 1920 by 1080, but I have 1200 monitor, so I want to take advantage of the 16:10 ratio. But I'm just going through the configs. You may want to rewind or whatever, but anyway, I have my gap set at 14, and that just works for me. Some people have their gaps less, some people have their gaps more. That's what works for me. And I don't have anything fancy for this, but I did leave one thing. I did leave is I'm going to do a super shift / and and this helps me. It shows it in the beginning when you log in, and what this does is this basically shows all the keys that you need to learn, and it's good for learning because I still have shortcomings when it comes to knowing stuff off the bat, but I've been pretty happy though. I've been pretty confident with knowing my way around, especially with Super O. That's so cool. You see the layout, you see all the keys and everything. And anyway, we'll just focus back on what I'm doing. I'm getting a little off topic here, but anyway, the focus ring. I had this. You could turn it off, and that's what I did. I turned it off. The focus ring just shows one ring, and it doesn't show a border on the other. So that's why I have that, but I could just switch windows. But anyway, yeah, so I turned that off, and that's the color of the active monitor, and the inactive color. But Yeah, I'm trying to get... Anyway, yeah, the focus ring is off. I'm trying to get to the point where... Here's the defaults. Yeah, and these are my default colors for the rings, and this is where these colors come from, the focus and the unfocus. You know that, because I turned off the focus ring because I don't want a focus ring. I want multiple, borders. So, I don't want and I'm still learning about this. I heard that you can make 2 borders around the around these, and that would be awesome, but for now I'm happy with everything as it is. So but I thought about that for 2 because I heard that there's a way you could do 2. And now I'm just going through the configs. You may want to rewind, you may want to fast forward, but I'm just doing this to help others. You have your struts too along with your gaps, and I just left that default because I'm happy with it. And spawn at startup, of course, I have way bar. Now, with my way bar, I just want a simple way bar. I have it to where you click on here and it shows fuzzle. And I customized fuzzle a little bit, but I didn't go too deep in fuzzle. But I've thought about it though, because there's themes out there for fuzzle that people have done and all that, and I would like to get more into that, but for now I'm just happy with the colors. My Dracula theme probably doesn't always go with Fluffy the cat, but I'll just open up another window right quick. I'm going back and forth here, so I apologize, but it's just my video. Okay, Thunar. So yeah, I have a Dracula theme, but I mean it kind of does, but not really. It kind of does actually, but anyway, that's my messy theme. But anyway, back to this. Now, my way bar config is simple, and I like simple. And I'm someone that likes window managers like DWM and Qtile and all that, and but with Wayland, it's still new for me. Even though I've messed around with it for a couple years now, I'm still getting the swing of it. And for a while, I was just using desktop environments just because it was easier. And I'm just now getting back into the tiling thing. But I really am enjoying Niri. And I have X-Wayland Satellite to run my emulators and all that. And all the X11 apps that don't want to cooperate, without it. So, I mean, it's not going to work. Certain apps aren't going to work without it. So, you definitely need to install X-Wayland Satellite. And towards the end of the video, I'll just type in what you need to install. So, I'm kind of doing everything backwards. Anyway, spawn at startup. I have Waypaper installed. And, the back end, Sway BG, restore. That's what I have. And we're going through. Prefer no CSD. Prefer no CSD basically is, when you first install it, Niri, that is, you have these borders around, and you could click out and stuff like that, but I really prefer not to have anything like that, because that's why you have the shortcut keys, and mine are a little different. So I'm going to go down and show what my shortcut keys are, but you can also take a screenshot of everything. Even though I can show my shortcut keys this way, I'm just going to show them through Niri. But yeah, I don't have any animations on. I can uncomment, turn it off, but I mean, I'm fine with the animations. I like the animations, when I run it, especially when I'm doing, this or whatever. That's fine, but anyway, let's move this back. There we go. There. That's better. And anyway, that's just so cool. So I don't mind the animation. I'm happy with it. I don't have Firefox, so it's not really important. Even though you have window rules, and I have a couple window rules up that I'll show. So I have one for one of my programs right here that I like to use, ZSNES, and I have it floating. So, and then I have Steam when I use Steam, which is because I like my old Final Fantasy games. So Steam is awesome for that. But anyway, I have a window rule for Steam to work on here, and it works great. So, and I had help from Microsoft Copilot on that one, and I know people down Microsoft Copilot, but one of my friends introduced me to Copilot, and I just got used to using it, so that's just what I use. But to each their own, I say. But anyway, we're getting to the keyboard shortcuts. Yeah, it shows the hotkey overlay. But and I'm fine with that. I like having my overlay right there. I think that's good. And not everybody likes that, but I do. I think that's helpful. Anyway, for Alacrity, I have super enter, which is mod plus return, and then mod space for fuzzle. So that's what I do to run fuzzle. And then, for sway lock, even though I don't use sway lock very much. And those are my audio keys, which work. It doesn't show the results, but it does work. And what I use to close windows, since I have small hands, is mod shift X. And mod left is, basically focus column left. So, and that's where a lot of these are. So, but yeah, everything else I'm fine with and that I've used. So, but yeah, those are my keybinds that I like to use. And everyone has their keybinds that they like to use. And, of course, you got your move to. So if I wanted to move, this window to another workspace, it'd be mod, which is the super key, super control, and then the number. And it comes with 9 workspaces, but I don't need 9 workspaces. Honestly, I'm happy with just 6. And I've learned that about myself too. Like, I used to think, I need all these workspaces, but I just need a couple. I'm good to go. But yeah, these are just the binds. But you can change them, and you can see which binds are which. And but yeah, you could switch layouts. I mean, print, screenshot. I don't know if I have a print button, but I have a print source button. So, but I'm just going through these. Feel free to fast forward or rewind, basically. But, that's Niri. I'm really enjoying it, and wallpaper once again is Fluffy the cat. I miss Fluffy the cat. She just passed away recently, and it's very sad. And anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to include in this video here. I think I've included everything with the config that I wanted to talk about. It's not a hard config, and there's a lot of information, but I recommend, if you're going to use Debian, I recommend you're going to have to do a different configuration, because on Debian you don't have wallpaper available. Because I tried to install it on Debian, and I had no luck. it didn't want to install. You know, PipX did not want to work. So I don't know if it's something on my end. It probably is. But anyway, you know, so Niri. Yeah, I don't have to save. I could just quit. So anyway, I think that that's going to be it for everything. I have talked as much as I could about Niri. Anyway, oh yeah, I know what I was getting back to. Anyway, to install it, I recommend, you know, if you're on Arch based, you know, so I mean Pacman, sudo Pacman -s Niri and x Wayland -satellite. So you can run your apps and you know, in Waybar if you don't have Waybar. But anyway, you know, I may as well talk about Waybar. You know, I'll show my Waybar stuff too. But anyway, a lot of the Waybar config I got from DistroTube, from Derek Taylor. You know, that's where I got a lot of my Waybar config from. And I just wanted a simple bar. I don't want anything too fancy, but I like the colors on here. But even simpler is better. I mean, if there's other I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's get to the config here on Waybar. Yeah, I you know, the layers at the bottom, and you know, you could use this on Hyperland too. I don't have it on Hyperland, and you know, I don't have anything too fancy on here. You know, so I need to probably change some things in it because I don't use some of these options, and maybe add a battery, because right now I have to do ACPI just to check my battery, but it's at 62%. So yeah, but oh yeah, the cool part is I'll go back to focusing on the window I want to focus on, but I can do Super F to focus just on that window, and that comes in handy. But yeah, this is my basic Waybar configuration. It's not anything complicated, and you can get it from Derek Taylor. All you have to do is Google Derek Taylor .files, and you know, you have a simple Waybar configuration, and it works great. And I had to change some things on it, like you know, I changed. Let me go to it here. So yeah, the image path I changed to you know, an icon for Arch Linux, because that's what I'm using right now, Arch Linux. But yeah, and if you're using Debian, you're gonna have to have a different configuration than for your starting, like your wallpaper and stuff. You're gonna have to use System D for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and exit out of this. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you guys, and you know, I'm just happy that I was able to share this with you today, because Niri is an awesome window compiler. I mean, compositor. Anyway, that's going to be it. See ya.
This has been a Dan Matheny production. Thanks for watching.